I want to remind everybody that you can experience Cleveland Charge basketball at Public Hall this season. The Cleveland Charge, the NBA G League affiliate for the Cavaliers, are back in action for their 5th season in Cleveland. Charge alumni like Sam Merrill and Naquan Tomlin and two-way players like Tristan Enaruma show that the NBA G League is the home to future stars of the NBA. Join the Charge for WNBA night, Friday, March 6th. That's tonight at 7. They're going to celebrate the return of the NBA to Cleveland by honoring the past and future of women's basketball in Cleveland. Guys, get your tickets on sale now at clevelandcharge.com. That is tonight at 7 p.m. down at Public Hall.
All right, so guys, I think it was earlier this week, Todd McShay said he heard that Ty Simpson from Alabama could go as high as 6. Yesterday, Mary Kay Cabot reported that Ty Simpson will be one of the Browns' 30 visits. You get 30 guys you can visit, not including guys that went to college in your state or are from the state. So that's a big advantage. That is a big advantage for the Browns, really, and the Bengals, because you have Ohio State in state. But in addition to that, you get 30 guys that are from out of state that you could bring in for a visit. And the Browns, as you said, Tom Pelissero, but I think Mary Kay Cabot had it, didn't she?
I think so. That was just the tweet I grabbed.
Okay, but anyway, so what do we think there, G. Bush? I'll start with you. I know you're not a big Ty Simpson guy.
Look, he, I watched the combine, and he did pretty well at the combine. I kind of looked at what Todd McShay was saying. Now, Todd McShay, was saying that if you take a look at what Ty Simpson did in the first 8 games of the season, and you compare that to what Mendoza did, he went as far to say that his highs for Ty Simpson were better than what Mendoza's highs are. Now, obviously, he was playing pretty well, and a lot of people were playing well at the first 8 games of the season. But he kind of fell off at the last part of the season. He was injured, a little more inconsistent, sacks, different things like that. But, when it comes to, bringing him in, of course, you're going to bring in a lot of the guys. If he's the second quarterback on the board, which a lot of people say, you're going to bring him in for a visit. That's just, they're going to bring him, 30? 30 of them they're going to bring in. So, Andrew Berry's definitely, he's going to bring in a lot of people. I would think that they would bring in guys who were, that may have had higher names, like maybe a Nussmeier or Aller or any of those guys, because if they want to add one of these dudes in the later on in the draft, 4th, 5th round, 6th round, somewhere like that, you want to have a book on them, right? So, yeah, I think, I don't think he'll go that high. I do think there will be a team that will take him in the first round. I look at teams like Pittsburgh. I look at teams who may say, look, we had him rated at a certain time in the year. I mean, if we squint hard enough and when we get him in our system, he might be a fit for what we're trying to do. 15 starts in college. So there's a sample size, and I did take a little bit of a lack of sample size, whether I should say. And I talked to Sean King, and he was on the podcast, and he talked about how
Does he like him or no?
He says that Ty Simpson is comparable with Mendoza, but he has Mendoza being a late first, early second in terms of his board.
Right.
So he's saying
Simpson should be a second-round pick.
If that's where he has him, some team will take him higher.
Yeah,
and he says that if they don't sit him, he's not going to make it past his first team because he needs a little development. So he said if you want to take him, you got to be able to be willing to sit him maybe a year or 2. But then again, we know how that works, Jason. People ain't seen you 2 years to take it.
Well, it depends where he goes. If he got drafted by the Rams,
right.
But if he gets drafted by one of the teams like the Browns that doesn't have an answering quarterback,
or the Jets, or
Jets, Browns, Dolphins, any of those teams, or even the Steelers, unless Aaron Rodgers goes back for a year, he's probably going to play. He's going to play. Sean King has said it would be bad for him. Go ahead, Jason.
I don't think he's coming here, and I think he'll be. We talked about it last week where the only point I was trying to make last week was nobody talked about Jackson Dart, and the Giants love Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
And we have never considered. I shouldn't say we haven't given a whole lot of consideration to Ty Simpson coming here. Is that fair?
That's
we
fair.
haven't spent a lot of time on it. And I just don't want to be in a spot where a year from now we look back and go, well, that's twice. That's twice. There's a guy right in front of you, and you didn't do it. But having said that, no, I don't think he's coming here. I do think he'll go in the first round. I think he'll go probably a lot higher than people think, just because of the need for quarterbacks and the lack of quarterbacks in this draft. I think it's another 2 quarterback first round like we had last year. I did a piece on it a couple days ago on just how this is just a weird cycle that the NFL is in with quarterback play. But I don't think he's a match here. I don't think he's coming here. Now, bring him in. Yeah, they're not going to spend 30 visits. You're not going to bring 30 guys in. And you need a quarterback, you better bring him in and at least talk to him.
Any team that doesn't have their quarterback set in stone should talk to as many quarterbacks as they can.
Yes.
There's no downside to it.
Yes, I agree.
It's like going on recruiting visits. Like teams in college bring kids by the goo-gows into recruiting visits, unofficial ones especially. Yeah. You're getting them in. You're looking at them. Some of them might be slated a little lower than the guys you want. If somebody commits or flips late or something happens, now you know the kid, you have a relationship, and you're like, okay, cool. So, I mean, that's part of it. I mean, I would be shocked if the Browns didn't do that.
And by the way, like as fast as teams are moving off quarterbacks now, who's to say that someone who's, whether it's Berea in this role or whatever, 3 or 4 years from now, you may have the opportunity to look at this kid. So a lot of teams, you're not interviewing them now for the chance to maybe pick them up in free agency or trade. That's not what you're doing. But you're gathering information.
Yeah, for all we know, I don't know that this is the case, but an example could be, like maybe the Packers had spoken to Malik Willis. I'm sorry. Maybe the Packers had spoken to Malik Willis. He got drafted by the Titans, and they always kept that in mind. Hey, this kid was impressive.
Yes.
Maybe someday we have a chance to get him. I don't know that happened, but it's certainly a possibility.
But that's the thing.
And that's why you do it.
Yeah, there are teams that like guys, and for whatever reason, it doesn't align, you don't take them.
Yeah.
But you sort of keep tabs on them, you talk to them, you keep an eye on them, and maybe down the road.
Now, we get it. Like the Patriots, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Chiefs, these teams are not bringing in quarterbacks for top 30 visits.
No.
Because they have a set-in-stone guy.
Right.
If you have a set-in-stone guy, 100%, you do. Even if you're like the Panthers, you don't have Bryce Young is not 100% set in stone. You might talk to guys.
Right.
But if you have the 100% guy who there's no doubt he's going to be a quarterback, barring something bizarre in the next few years, you don't waste your time. But if you don't, then of course you do.
I'm getting sidetracked. If you're the Panthers, you can't bring Ty Simpson in for a visit.
Why not?
Because that sends everything into a tizzy, and it shows that you don't have faith in your. I would not do that.
You would have to. So the only way so basically, it got to be a dude like
unless you're ready to move off
a crazy vet,
right?
Like if you Joe Burrow and they bring in like Ty Simpson. Nobody's even questioning.
Yeah, but they wouldn't do that. What would be the point of that?
I mean, maybe some teams maybe you want to. I don't know. Maybe some people want to back up. Like some people, like if you look at it and you're like, okay, we're a championship contender. We got bottom of the barrel guys. But at that point, you may want to bring a veteran in just to be a backup. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
the Browns are ready to move off Baker before anybody else realized it. So that, like, if the Panthers, and I don't know why I'm talking about the Panthers,
right.
But the Panthers, if they're in that spot where they're then okay.
But they can't feel totally all in on Bryce Young, and I like Bryce Young, but he hasn't been that good.
Well, but I don't think you're spending a first-round pick. He's been
probably not.
He's been good enough to where you're not.
In this, I think now the way we look at it now, he might be good enough. We'll see. Obviously, when you're the Browns in this situation, without a clear answer, you have to do your due diligence.
Yes.
I agree with you. I'd be very surprised if the Browns drafted Ty Simpson in the first round.
Yes.
I wouldn't be. Like, if he's somehow there, or I should say at 6, if he's somehow there with their late first-round pick, could they draft him? I still don't think they would, but I don't think he's going to make it there anyway, so that's I wonder, this is probably silly because there's so many teams, but like, is there any possibility that part of the reason the Browns are talking to Simpson is to maybe make other teams think that they might draft him, and somebody tries to get aggressive for their 6th pick?
Well, I do. The more this goes, the deeper this goes, I do think that they're going to at least try very hard to move down. I can't say they're going to move down because you don't know what the offers are.
Yeah.
I think they would like to move down in an ideal world.
Well, look at some of these teams, right? If you look at the middle of the draft, or the middle of the first round of the draft.
Is this where he talks about the Bengals coming up to get Caleb Downs?
Well, I would love that, but no. This is, I was talking about teams that might, in theory, want to draft Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
Although, as you know, I do want to do that. But so here's the teams. You got not New Orleans. You got Miami at 11.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they get antsy that somebody tries to trade ahead of them. You got the Rams at 13.
Well, free agency will sort out.
That's true. But the Rams at 13.
But the Rams aren't going to trade up to get.
Probably not. Oh, they already traded a late first-round pick this year. They just traded for O.J. McDuffie, right?
Yeah, O.J. McDuffie.
O.J. McDuffie is
That's an old school.
Wow.
He's
Who'd
from
they
Penn
trade
State.
for?
He's from Penn State.
They traded for they traded
remember
for
him.
a DB for Kansas City.
Yeah, they did.
Minnesota at 18. Pittsburgh, not that you trade with this deal. I'm just saying there are teams between the Browns' 2 picks that could take it. Whether it's trading up or whatever, there are teams that might be interested.
Yeah.
And Ty Simpson, listen, the Browns did work on Shedeur Sanders prior to the draft.
Yeah.
He dropped to the 5th round. So they're like, okay. Now they had a visit with Shedeur Sanders. They scouted him. They looked. So you never know where these people will fall.
You never know.
If you like Ty Simpson, I don't think Ty Simpson's going in the 5th round. But if you take a look at the comparable players that went in the 1st round that we kind of squint a little bit at, like, I don't know if they was really that good. Look, Bo Nix was not crazy highly touted. If you look at Bo Nix Bo Nix played a lot of college football and had a lot of tape. But if you look at Ty Simpson, it's comparable. You take a look at J.J. McCarthy. I mean, he didn't play a bunch of football, won the championship.
He hasn't played particularly
played well, but he went early.
Yeah, he went high.
So,
yeah.
If there's a team that, all it takes is one team.
It's only one team's got to love you. That's it.
That's it.
And desperation at quarterback makes people do desperate things.
It does.
And so whether it's a good move or not, if the Browns take Ty Simpson at 24, you going to be pissed?
Oh, yeah. See, for me, I look at Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think his starting point should be, to me, is like he's 2nd round. Problem I got is he's big, but he's not crazy big. He's like, he got a good arm, but not an elite arm. He has 15 starts. I want to see more than 15 starts. Yeah. He has some injury issues. But, I mean, his first half, I will give it to him. His first half of the year tape is great. It's good. Him and my Tears tape is great. But I couldn't take him at that because I feel like for the Browns, you can get a bona fide ball player to help you. And even if you don't got a quarterback and say Shedeur Sanders don't play well, you at least would have somebody in place at an offensive line receiver position that
you hope. That's if you get it right. But,
that's the 1st round pick.
Yeah.
You gotta hope
right.
that you hit on that.
Yeah.
You got if it's a 1st round pick, you got to consider that to be a starter.
Yeah.
It has to be. So
here's another thing I've said a million times: trade that 24th pick for Brian Thomas Jr. Let's go. All right, Anthony.
I would take that
real
too.
quick, guys. Our last point: do you want to see how many people they've drafted that they've had top 30 visits for in the last 3 years? Because we do have that.
Yeah,
it's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. Go ahead and take this to your Steve. You've got Graham, Judkins, Fannin, Sanders, Bond, Mike Hall Jr., DeJuan Jones, and DTR.
I mean, in 23 and 24, that's not a lot. That's only 3 guys in 2 years. Although they didn't have 1st-round picks those years.
Right.
But last year, I mean, they didn't draft Bond, but they obviously signed him.
And another question is out of how many visits?
Right.
How many visits did
I don't know. And I don't think Judkins or Fannin count towards the 30 because they're both Ohio.
I don't know.
That kind of
that's a rule.
Well, is that?
I think if you go to Ohio school, it doesn't matter. They obviously were interested in those guys, and they drafted, a number of those guys. I will see.